You better be ready to ride this process out, because I can assure you, if you do, you will be rewarded the fruits of your labor. Your subconscious mind has to push out a story that reflects your internal state of consciousness. So if you commit to creating a new state of consciousness, you will create an outcome. You have to. It is the law. It is a fundamental principle, just the same as gravity pulls things towards it. So right now, if you're having that nagging thought of giving up, don't. Keep going, you will succeed. But before I get into this video, if you could drop me a like and a comment on it if you end up enjoying it, just to let me know you want more of this kind of content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell icon, because the last thing you want to do is miss the video that could change your life. And if you do need any one-to-one help with your situation, down below in the comment section and the description are the links to my services where I can help you more specifically. But now, let's get into this video. Now I want to preface, because I actually did a video last week talking about when you should give up. So I can understand there may be some confusion with this one, but there's a difference between what I want to speak about in that one and this one. If something is genuinely tormenting you more so than the expectation of the result will benefit you, then yes, I recommend either giving up or at least taking a step back, working on yourself so the negatives will have less of an impact. That, what I said in the other video, I still stand by. But for this video, I'm talking about just maybe a little bit of nagging frustration, or feeling like you're doing well, but just kind of wanting to see some movement. Stuff where it's just kind of general impatience or uncertainty if you're doing it well. If it's really negatively, physically, emotionally, spiritually affecting you, take a break or give up. But if it's just like kind of like little nagging, like, oh, where is it? Another day, come on, what's happening? Don't give up. It's coming. Your subconscious mind creates your reality through your thoughts, your feelings, your awareness. It's consciousness, essentially. If you commit to providing it a new state of consciousness, a new set of thoughts, a new set of feelings, making new choices and actions that benefit your end result, due to the fact that your subconscious mind only goes off of what you are feeding it, it has to push that out. Think of your subconscious mind like a stockroom worker that never gets to leave and there's no windows. If the people at the front of the store go back and say, hey, we need 1,000 CDs, the stock worker has no way of knowing that that isn't true and just has to get on with it. So they get the 1,000 CDs, provide it. Now the person at the front of the store may have been joking, or they may have been serious, but the stockroom worker has no idea and has to just do it because they have to follow that direction. Your subconscious mind is exactly the same. No matter what is going externally in this 3D reality, for the purposes of the analogy, in the front of store, the subconscious mind doesn't get any of that information until you go back there through your thoughts, your feelings, and your awareness and say, hey, this thing is happening. We need more of this because this is what I'm focusing on. So if you could think about it like that and consider the 3D reality as part of this process, them not showing up does not need to be fed to your subconscious mind, because it doesn't know that, and by knowing that, it'll only help create more of them not showing up. So instead, what you do, even if you feel irritated, frustrated, impatient, no matter what you feel, stop for a minute, take a few deep and deliberate calming breaths just to keep yourself on a center, and then you go back in your mind and you see them doing what you want them to do anyway. Or you make claim to them doing what you want them to do anyway. You relish and enjoy the idea of them already doing that stuff anyway, which will take that story back to your subconscious mind and push it out. There have been so many instances where I've been left on red, for example, and I've looked at my phone and I've seen that there's no message, but I say, oh, sweet, I'll respond to them in a minute, making claim that there is a message. And this awareness, this consciousness, does two things. First off, I say I'll respond to them in a minute so that I don't have to then either sort of pretend to type out a text or concern myself with the thoughts of, but I'm not responding. Does my subconscious mind know that I'm not responding? And start overthinking things, which many of you do. I get a lot of very overthought questions, stuff like that. So I say I'll respond in a minute because it's just the easiest way to not have to do anything in that moment. But by making claim that there's a message there, I'm feeding that story to the subconscious mind. It doesn't know there isn't a message there, but I'm feeding it that. Every time I check my bank account, if there's less than I'd like in there, I see the number, but then I make claim that there's way more than I could ever need. So much that I don't even know how to spend it right now, so I'm not going to. If I see a clothing item that's more than I'm willing to pay for something, instead of going into that lack-based mindset of maybe I don't have enough money to justify paying this much for something, because if you're a billionaire and you see a pair of shoes at £1,000, while that's probably ridiculous for a pair of shoes, to you that wouldn't matter. So instead of coming at it from I can't justify that, which also kind of makes me think like, oh, I don't have enough money for it, I'll say something like, I can afford that, but I don't need a new pair of shoes right now. And I'll justify it in another way that doesn't negatively impact what I'm working on. So when it comes to you and giving up, or sort of the frustration, the impatience and so on, your subconscious mind, as I mentioned at the beginning, has to push out the reality that reflects your internal state of consciousness. That is its role, and it cannot do anything other than that. Which means it is just a simple process of, if you keep going and you keep improving, because obviously if you keep going as in persisting, but you're doing the wrong things, then you're not going to get a result that you want. But if you keep going, doing the right stuff, or at least improving the things that you could be so that you are getting better and better and better, you have to experience that desire. Even on the instances where I say that I think you should give up or take a break, even if through all of those negatives, you kept working on them, making yourself feel better, making yourself feel more detached from the outcome, and things that stop so much emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual pain, you will also get a result. I just want to put your well-being first and foremost before manifestation success. I may be a manifestation coach, but I'm not naive to say that I would rather you put yourself and your mental and physical well-being first over proving that I'm right, if that makes sense. But even in those instances where things are that bad, if you continued working on it and continued improving at what you're doing, you will get a result. So suffice it to say, if you feel that impatience right now, get over it. Get back on that horse. What are you impatient about? You've already got them. You're only not talking right now because you're too busy. But you'll message them in a minute because they're sitting there waiting for your text. You're not seeing them right now because you need some time to focus on your things, but you know if you message them, they'd come sprinting over to spend the night with you. You don't need to justify why you don't have something by focusing on negative things that imply why you don't have something. If you can, don't focus on not having at all and just go inward. But if you really do need to, create an outcome within your mind that benefits you. I'm not seeing them tonight because I have stuff to do. That's much, much better than saying I'm not seeing them tonight because they don't want me. Or I didn't go for that specific job because it wasn't right for me. I know something better is coming. As opposed to I didn't get the job because I'm not good enough for them. There is no benefit in over-focusing on things that don't serve you. Yes, use things to improve so that you can always do better, but there's a very big difference from learning from something and going forward better and just simply dwelling on that of not having. There's a very, very big difference between responding and reacting. Reacting is a very emotional, sort of quick fire response. Responding is taking the time to understand the circumstance or the situation and having a calculated approach in response. So with your current situation, when it feels like giving up or, whatever it is that makes you kind of head down that route, understand the subconscious mind can only push out a reality that reflects your internal state of consciousness So if you keep feeding a new state of consciousness, you will get a result. Just like if you were to put glass in underneath a tap that's dripping, it may take a while, but eventually it will fill up because that's the only thing that it can do. But if you keep going, you will get a result. You have to. It is the law. I trust this video has helped. If it has, drop me a like and a comment to let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to click that bell icon. And if you do need any one-to-one help with your situation, down below in the comment section and the description are all the links to my services where I can help you directly. But thank you so much for watching. Oh, and YouTube thinks this video is good for you. Haha. But thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you lovely people in the next one. Bye-bye.